What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today... You smell that?
Ew!
Oh, that's rancid.
It's the
What
gays!
is that foul, putrid stench? Did the loathsome dung eater just break into my house?
No.
That smell is coming from my computer, because I just got done playing 3 hours of Dragon Age the Veilguard.
That is 3 hours too many.
No! You're not fucked up now!
I have been waiting many years for BioWare to make a return to form. Sadly, the only thing Dragon Age is going to return to is the dirt.
Thanks to Tosh.
Base.
That's why we recruited her. So I'm non-binary.
Actually, Tosh uses them for themselves now.
Can I just say that the people that initially thought that Tosh was going to be a side character were so horribly, terribly wrong. She's part of the story, and she makes the story about her a lot of the time. It is insanely cringe.
It's been a decade since Inquisition won Game of the Year in 2014. But after it...
It's not like we're in Baldur's Gate 3. If you don't have a companion in your, like, party, there's not a lot of interaction outside of, like, main character. Like, they'll bring them up, but they don't really talk about them. Like, you have to engage with Tasha's character. It's really annoying.
10-year hiatus, you would expect some pretty substantial improvements. Some fun, entertainment, dialogue that sounds like it was written by a real human being.
Broken chains. Solus is freeing slaves.
Solus hates slavery.
Everyone hates slavery! What do you mean? What?
God, I just hate slavery so much.
Oh my god, this is the perfect clip. Oh my god, what is this movie that's got all the A-list actors from 2014? What is this called? I remember watching this. It's so funny. They have Justin Timberlake, the guy from yeah, this is like a parody movie. Bad Teacher, that was it. Oh my god, that was such a bad good movie. It's so funny.
If I could go back in time and undo slavery, I would.
I would totally do it.
I hate it.
Veilguard is the burnt steak of RPGs.
It's so
as if all the
funny,
tasty, juicy BioWare goodness has been cooked out of the company. It's like they forgot their own recipe. Whatever semblance of Dragon Age there remained in Inquisition, it's all sucked out here. It has lost all darkness, grit, realism, and intensity it once had.
A lot of games are like that. Even Diablo 4 that said they would return to form of like being edgy, because Diablo 3 lost a lot of its edginess and it became kind of like washed out. Diablo 4, even though they said they would go back, it's like still not like 100% like Diablo 2. Really, it's just not the same.
Exaggerating when I say that between 2003 and 2011, BioWare was top of their class. They were best in slot for the RPG genre. Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, the big three. It's funny that with the first Dragon Age, BioWare had actually taken inspiration from the Baldur's Gate series. And how ironic it is that BioWare...
Hold on. Hold the phone. I'm sorry. Did they actually say they were inspired by Baldur's Gate 3? How, where, and why? Go back.
Mass Effect, Dragon Age, the big three. It's funny that with the first Dragon Age, BioWare had actually taken in
set in a unique world and a spiritual successor to their previous Baldur's Gate. I misunderstood. Okay. The first Baldur's Gate. But the first Baldur's Gate was good. And Neverwinter Nights? Wait. Hold on. I gotta look up something. Neverwinter Nights 2. I thought Obsidian published that. BioWare? Oh, Neverwinter 2 wasn't made by BioWare. Okay. I love Neverwinter Nights 2. I know. Cringe.
inspiration from the Baldur's Gate series. And how ironic it is that BioWare would turn their back on this successful and proven style of RPG, and now it's Larian who have picked up the torch and are running with it. I mean, wow, can you even believe it? That's the third RPG in this style that's won Game of the Year. It's almost like there might be something to this style of game. Baldur's Gate 3 should have been a wake-up call, but ever since Dragon Age 2, BioWare has slowly but surely turned their back on everything people loved about their games, and they have embraced mediocrity with open arms. Now again, that's just my opinion. If you're having fun with the game, don't let me or anyone else stop you. Me, on the other hand, I cannot stand playing Dragon Age the Veilguard. To be honest, I knew I wasn't gonna like Veilguard when I saw the gameplay showcase, but man, sometimes that music kicks in. And I think, well, maybe they'll—
That's called nostalgia, man. Don't fall for it. It's how I felt for Diablo 4. I was like, yes, return to goriness, and it sucked. And the DLC cost more than the base game.
Come back. Dragon Age Origins was so fucking good, man. No cap, Origins is BioWare's best game. There, I said it. Yeah, fight me in the comments. The reason I tried out Veilguard is because I'm still chasing the dragon.
Hey. God, I almost caught the dragon.
You don't ever catch the dragon, Dad.
Literally, the one on the front cover. So today I'm going to give you all a crash course on how to turn me off of your RPG.
A lot of people treat Blizzard in the same way. They think that they're always going to get something as good as the first time, and then it's like crack or heroin. It's just never as good as the first time.
And never play it again. This instructional training video will teach you how to destroy a franchise. Yay! Step 1. Promote your fantasy RPG like it's a fucking hero shooter.
You know there will be dragons.
The cringe. Right. Oh, the cringe. Oh, wow. That's Lucanus. Wow, he's the mage killer. Whoa. Lara, the veil jumper.
This looks like a Fortnite promotion or a Valorant promotion. It really does look like a hero shooter or something like that. The veil jumper.
Well, how cool. I love these characters already. Dude, real talk, why was this reveal trailer shoving characters down my throat? We can be heroes? What the fuck? Who thought to brand a
It just means that the story's not good enough. If they can't hook you with a story trailer, then they have to promote it with characters. I understand why they did it. Because if they included the story trailer with, Tosh talking about how she wants to growl and fuck you, yeah, I guess then it probably would sell even less.
Dragon Age game like this. You want to see branding? Boom.
Damn.
Veilguard gave the wrong impression right when it was shown. People didn't react too positively to it, and I don't blame them. Showing the names and titles of every companion on screen is a cheap, ineffective tactic to try and create a connection between the audience and the characters.
And it also rips you out of the immersion. I don't think that this is a good marketing strategy for RPGs. Why are you showing to me that he's a necromancer? Why did you have to include this text on the screen? Do you think I'm retarded or something? Yeah, because they do think that. That's why they did it.
If you can't make them interesting through, good writing, I'd just throw their names on screen, kill any and all intrigue about what lies in store for the player and who they might be able to recruit on their team. Complaining about the marketing might be a minor point, sure, but this is the first impression. It matters a lot. And instead of trying to sell me on this immense, incredible fantasy world that I can explore, I'm being sold characters I haven't even met yet. For more information on how to maintain my interest, consult this trailer for Origins.
Yeah! Look at that! Men being men! Dude, this is sick.
You see how they portray the cast through the actions, facial expressions, combat style, and dialogue, and also how they work together as a team? Crazy, right? It's like my mind is able to gather information about their personalities. Hey, this goth-looking woman with a staff, I think she might be a witch. I can't tell because my eyeballs don't work and neither does my brain. That's
what I mean, man. They dumbed down the game and then they dumbed down the marketing to suit the game because the game is dumb. It's if the shoe fits, I don't know.
Trailer is cool, it has a unique style, it's entertaining, and it's badass.
The righteous stand before the darkness, and the Maker shall guide their hands.
She's a badass. Whoa. Yeah!
Clearly, Veilguard missed the mark in its marketing. It came across like Disney had just bought out BioWare. These trailers were heavily disliked, probably because they showed a version of Dragon Age that bears no resemblance to its bloody, violent past. Like,
yeah, I was about to say, there's like hardly any blood in like this trailer compared to the first one.
They've taken all the edge out of Dragon Age. It's gone soft. Like, dude, they even cut out this neck snap. Like, why are you trying to hide this in editing? No neck snapping, guys. It's too controversial, okay? No, take the blood out. That's too graphic. Wouldn't want to offend anybody.
Meanwhile...
Now, marketing isn't everything, but you can learn a lot about a creator's intentions.
You can't have blood in the game. It's not wholesome, Chungus. We need to have a safe space for people to be killed, chat.
Impression they want to leave on you, how they want to sell you something and earn your hard-earned money. For Origins, they were selling you a brutal, violent medieval world. For Veilguard, they're selling you Dragon Age, but it's rated E for everyone. Certainly doesn't help that they changed the original title from Dreadwolf to the Veilguard, but the marketing did absolutely no favors for this game, and the gameplay showcase confirmed my suspicions that this wouldn't be a return to form, it would be an even further jump away from it. By trying to make something that's safe and appeals to everyone.
And that's what Diablo 3 did, and a lot of people didn't like that, and there was a mass exodus. People thought it would be, like, it was sold as a Diablo 2 sequel, but, like, all of the guts and gore, the ending, like, you didn't see anything really, like, it was just so safe, and I bought the game and I played the shit out of it, don't get me wrong, but something always felt really hollow about it, and this is just... I didn't know Dragon Age Origins, like, I knew of the game, but I didn't know it was that gory because of what I saw from the sequel.
You end up appealing to no one. By making the inoffensive, you end up with the uninteresting. When you shave off all the edges, everything is without form. Step number 2 on how to ruin a franchise. Butcher the art style.
Yay!
Hey, quick question. What is this? BioWare? What?
He's got snot coming out of his face. Chow, wipe his boogies.
What the fuck is this? This is a darkspawn. Are you serious? Somehow you made them even more cartoony and stupid looking than Dragon Age 2? This is what I'm talking about. See?
Dude, this one is scary. It reminds me of Fallout ghouls. Yeah, like, that's cool. This one's okay. This one's kind of like, what the fuck? And this one's like, what?
See how much of the identity and style of this series they've lost? The Darkspawn in Origins were a force of nature type villain. Evil creatures birthed by terrible magic. Their blood is poison as they are poison to the world.
Maybe in the next Dragon Age, what they're gonna do is make these guys relatable and have babies and families, and that's why they're killing everyone instead of it just being pure evil. Yeah, I can't wait. If they ever have another one, which I don't know, I doubt, but, you know, you never know.
Bringing a literal blight to the land. But now, in Veilguard...
What about Darkspawn?
Yeah.
What about...
Even the blood, like, when he slashed that thing, it looks so bad.
Darkspawn. This gives off COD Vanguard vibes. We're fighting in World War II. I'm having a great time. What about you guys?
What? I had no idea. I'm having a great time. Guys, join the army today. It's like they got bought out by the US Army ad. Like, they have advertising links to it.
What about Nazis?
Yeah, blow them up.
They die.
What about Darkspawn?
Polina Petrova? Oh my god. A Russian said that? Yeah, for sure.
Like the Darkspawn are an afterthought. They're just treated as a joke, while they look like one too. Not to mention what they've done with the Quinari. To be fair, they don't look the same in any game, but like, come on.
I like the second one the most, right there. They kind of look like badass Draenei from WoW. I always loved that about Draenei, even though they look like stupid space goat aliens. They're supposed to be like big, intimidating motherfrickers, you know?
What is this? There's a lot I hate about Dragon Age 2, but man, they nailed the look of the Qunari. Now they look weak, soft, fragile. Oh, and
I don't know how you can have a character that has bulging muscles as a female look so soft.
Man, they nailed the look of the Qunari. Now they look
like Draenei females from World of Warcraft look more, how do I say, like dangerously beautiful, like Amazonians. Something doesn't match up. I don't know. Maybe it's the face. Maybe, I don't know. The body just doesn't make sense to me.
Weak, soft,
yeah, unnaturally
fragile.
smooth. That's a good
and they're
one.
Emotionally susceptible and vulnerable. Where's my boy Sten? I need some tough manliness in here. It seems like every race has been homogenized to be as palatable and safe for work as possible. When you establish unique, recognizable races in your fantasy universe, it's probably best to keep their art style consistent so we're not left wondering why everything looks so fucking weird. Same thing with the demons, man. This is just pitiful. That's a pride demon right there. In Origins, these were gnarly creatures that resided in the mystical realm called the Fade. It was a dreamscape where these creatures sat and waited, and they were capable of all sorts of psychological torture and human possession. There's like 3 different children in Origins that get possessed by a demon, and you can kill all of them. You can kill children in Origins.
Oh my god!
By making the Darkspawn and the demons look so generic.
Can't have that now, though. Can't have moral dilemmas of killing a child to save them from a demon. Man, Witcher 3, if they remake that game, I think they would censor the fuck out of it. Like, where you go after a demon that was basically aborted by, like, there was that story with the rich nobleman who basically had to bury his aborted, like, kid in, like, a spot really far away, and it becomes, like a possessed demon, essentially. And it, like, haunts the, like, village and stuff. Yeah, the kid was a stillborn. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I played that game, but yeah, it was like a really heartfelt story, and it was sad, and it was just like heart-wrenching. I think they would have to censor it now. People just don't understand how to have like good story writing, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
And silly and cartoonish, it takes away from my ability to take them seriously as a threat. As if BioWare is intentionally trying to diffuse any and all tension this game could have had. And for a world that's on the brink of destruction, it sure seems like everyone's having an okay time. I guess the one area I can give Veilguard props in is that the game does look phenomenal. The locations are beautifully detailed and diverse, but we have the same.
That literally doesn't matter. I've played so many games that have really pretty like areas, and the combat or like either the story or the combat is just completely lacking.
Problem is Concord. Yeah. You can't dump your entire budget into graphical fidelity and assume I'm gonna like looking at your game. Style trumps graphics every single time. Just look at Jet Set Radio Future. Origins may have had a bombastic, action-packed trailer, but once you arrived at the main menu, it was much more somber and serious. The point I'm trying to make is when I look at Veilguard, I can't find any unique way to describe it. It is just purely generic. Step number 3. Fail to reconnect with your audience. Now keep in mind, it's
the classic Jaguar move. We don't want to sell to our old audience anymore. They have to adapt to the new audience. We need to capture a new audience. Yeah, and then that new audience doesn't have the money, nor do they want to buy your dog shit. Yeah, then you're gonna blame them for not buying your crap.
It's been 10 years since Inquisition. Most people are gonna be out of the loop on everything Dragon Age related. So Veilguard has to carefully and methodically reel players and fans back into the fold. Remind them what they love about these games, this series, and this universe, and what the—
I don't know, there's something so comfy about like low fidelity graphics like this. if you actually look at it, it looks really bad, but there's something like crafted quality that you can't really replicate. I would rather play this than like than what they're showing here.
World is all
Maybe
about.
I'm weird.
Nah, screw all that. Welcome to the world of Dragon Age. Are you ready to save the world? What? No, the game just started. That's nice. Remember that guy Solus? Well, hey, he summoned a bunch of demons. You gotta stop him right now. Are you ready to save the world? It's been 5 minutes since you finished making your character. Hold on, where am I? Can I explore this area? Do I have an origin story? How did I meet up with my companions? What?
That's another really bad sign of storytelling. Having a really fast-paced, like a fast-paced starting, even tutorial is like, I don't like using that word. I hate having to play through tutorials that are mandatory. You have to start there's a middle ground between going too slow and too fast. And you have to go right in the middle. Neverwinter Nights is a really good example of playing through an RPG and having a slow but fast-paced, or relatively fast-paced, can also be skippable tutorial, by the way, through a game where the story makes sense, but even if you skip it, it's okay. You'll get right into the action. Literally mobile game storytelling. Yes, like Lost Ark, BDO. What else? Like they just kind of thrust you right into the action. You kind of get like overloaded, and your brain starts to like go like, oh god, like there's so much shit going on. Like, why am I even playing this?
What the fuck happened to Varric?
Yeah, Skyrim's
the
a really
pacing
good
in
one
Veilguard is
too.
atrocious. I could tell something was wrong right off the rip. BioWare makes no attempt at world building before shoving you straight into it. To me, this is RPG kryptonite. Rushing the player into a setting and universe they know almost nothing about or are unfamiliar with, and then expecting that player to care about saving this world. This is why TV shows have like episodic recaps, because people have short-term memory, and they need to be reminded of what happened a week ago, let alone 10 fucking years. My immersion wasn't broken. It was never established. The game failed to connect with me because right from the start, I had
no end of questions, Guardian.
Our story
Star Wars.
Where all great stories begin.
I think.
With the seediest bar in town.
It's the seediest bar in town, and yet it doesn't have a name, nor does the person who owns it. Who are these people I'm fighting? Why?
Why are you fighting right off the rip? That was Destiny? Oh, my bad. I thought it looked like Star Wars The Old Republic. I don't know. My memory's fucking shot.
Who's Nev Gallus? What's she doing here? How did she get lost? How did our team even form? Did everybody link up to fight Solus? If so, why are we all in separate places and not together as a team? What's up with this floating city? Why does it shine a light on some random lady? Like, what? What am I supposed to feel? What did she do?
But I didn't do anything!
We've got to help.
So they're just gonna
Help
kill
her
her.
with what? Where'd that lady
What the
go?
fuck?
What was going to happen to her? Nothing, I guess. Veilguard also commits the cardinal RPG sin of spamming you with jargon fantasy names and places and not allowing these concepts of world building to breathe. If you give players too much info too quickly, it can be over.
Even with BioShock, and that's a single player, like full blown, like you have to figure out the story for yourself. It doesn't hold your hand, except for maybe Infinite. It kind of holds your hand a lot, but you have to get immersed, man. That's how you make people care about your game.
Overwhelming, and it makes it hard for them to tell what's important, what names they should remember. Nothing bothers me more than when I'm told to save the world within 5 minutes of starting a 50-hour game.
I stopped you from destroying the world. I was not destroying the world.
Really, really great dialogue. You were destroying the world. Nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean? Nah. You stopped Solus from flooding the world with demons, Rook.
The elven gods Elganon and Gillenane have escaped from Fen'Harel's prison.
What the hell are these names? Is this the first 5 minutes? If I didn't know, which I don't really know anything about Dragon Age. It's very surface level. How the fuck would I know?
Seems like they want to destroy the world. Like I said, end of the world. You can mull it over later.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep, that's the plot. That's like the plot. That's what I hate about RPGs right there. I feel like the inciting incident, what starts the journey of an RPG, is the most pivotal moment in the early game. Because that's when
another video we watched talked about how many times the characters repeat themselves about how they're in danger. We need to do this. We're in danger. In the first like minute or two of dialogues, man. They just yap and repeat themselves. That's like an AI wrote the script.
People will either be hooked or they'll turn the game off and never boot it up again. Fable starts with you as a child doing chores around town so you can buy a birthday gift for your sister. Then it gets attacked by bandits who murder your parents. Your sister gets her eyes cut out and kidnapped, and then you're kidnapped by a man who ends up betraying you. And it's nice, simple, wholesome fun. And I'm hooked. This is why I prefer when RPGs start small and slow. In Origins, the Darkspawn are the
even in a multiplayer like World of Warcraft, you start off being like a literal who, and you're just in the starting zone for the first like 10, 15 levels. You're just playing the game. Nobody's asking you to go save the world. Nobody's talking to you about Ragnaros. You find that out later on your own terms. And that's an MMO RPG. This isn't even an RPG that like has single player fucking story time, man. Yeah, you go from who to hero, but it's gradual. That's why I think that a lot of that's why fucking a lot of these games just like think that you have to overload your audience with information in order to keep them engaged. But overload is fucking bad as fuck too.
Main thread, sure, but your first goal is to complete your origin story, then become a Grey Warden, then you fight in a huge battle, realize how grave a threat the Darkspawn truly are, and set up—
Look at the blood at that! Wow! He just fucking squeezes him and fucking kills him!
About rallying allies and support with the ultimate goal of killing the Archdemon and saving Ferelden, stopping the Blight. By having it be save Ferelden and not save the world, it's much more personal and it makes the world of Dragon Age feel much bigger. It's a slow burn, and that's the best way to cook a nice juicy steak, by raising the stakes over time. Why did they ditch the origin stories? No other game really does that.
Because it's a return to form, don't you know?
Each one gave you a slice of life. They established relationships between races, the different factions, which ones don't get along. Templars and mages? Oh boy. In Veilguard, they completely skipped this crucial step and just jumped straight to the inciting incident. It'd be like if this was the start of Origins. If they just skipped right to the Battle of Ostagar, it'd be jarring and confusing. It'd be like, who the fuck am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
Or Lord of the Rings, you establish like background lore, but then you're ported to the Shire and they're just having a normal time. You can have exposition and dialogue and explaining, but you need to stop clapping your audience or clubbing them over the head with plot. Even Lord of the Rings, baby. You still need to pace yourself, man. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, but it starts in Helm's Deep or fucking the final battle, and she's like slicing the guy's head off, and it's like, what the fuck, man? What am I doing? Who the fuck are you? Who's the guy in the freaking metal mask? Like, imagine, you just like your head would explode.
We're all these people. Instead of these origin stories showing how your character becomes who they are, how you just click a button in the main menu. Yep, this is who I am. I'm a Grey Warden.
I've seen your work. Like that.
What the hell is a Grey Warden?
Orders for a better strategy during a Darkspawn attack.
Like that time you stopped the Darkspawn? Remember that, Root? Remember that? Remember all that Grey Warden stuff you did? Sure. My character's history is assumed and told to me. I don't get to play through it or live it myself. It feels
look at the guy mogging.
cheap and lazy. Origins also did this crazy thing where you could like have control of your character and explore an area right from the start. You could engage in dialogue at your own pace, talk to different NPCs. No,
you know what? This is also a classic version. This is a classic case of put your hands and feet inside of the vehicle at all times, because if you stray from the designated pathway, your arms and legs are going to get chopped off. It's the same principle. You have to stay on the rails the whole time. You can't deviate. You can't explore. You can't do anything. Do as you're told, bitch.
Maybe try to solve some riddles a talking demon bear is giving you. In Veilguard at the start, you're railroaded down a single path, balancing on beams and watching things happen around you before engaging in—
I hate that shit so much. The only thing that's missing is the yellow paint, like, leading you. Yo, they should have added yellow lightning that guides you to where to go.
Incredibly shallow combat.
Oh
the key
my
to
God.
RPGs and why I love them so much comes down to player choice. Origins has no end of it, Veilguard has very little. And hey, if you like what you've been watching today, then feel free to support me on Patreon. I just redid all the tiers. You can get some pretty cool exclusive rewards there. Like access to my private Discord server, early access to videos before they go live on YouTube, and some neat behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, it's a great way to support the channel if you care to do so. Pretty much all of the money goes towards paying for editors, equipment, and all the stupid costumes I wear. So if you're interested, links are in the description and pinned comment. Step number 4 to destroying a franchise: simplify and remove RPG mechanics. So
Oh my god, that's like my biggest gripe. I can't stand it. There's such a fine line. So I played BDO. I had over 4,000 hours, roughly. 6,000 hours if you count AFK, probably. But I hate it when it's overly complicated and there's too much, but I also find it unbearable when it's oversimplified. It's so boring. It doesn't make you think. You have to have a nice, big median, like middle ground.
Those pesky numbers that make creating a build interesting and fun, you don't need none of that. Yeah, make it look like a fucking mobile game. It's got to be as simple and basic as possible. Veilguard is just another action game with cookie cutter combat and nothing to make it stand out. Nothing but brain-numbing puzzles so simple and basic a toddler would get bored of.
Asmongold said that the game was so dumb that even he could do puzzles, and he hates puzzles. He said the game was too easy even for him, and he hates puzzles. He's a big dum-dum, according to him. Like, he'll admit that this was like the worst part of the game, that they think you're so dumb and stupid that you have to have your hand held the whole time. Hogwarts has some really cute puzzles that aren't super obvious. They're not so dumb that you start ripping your fucking hair out trying to figure them out. But they do challenge you just a tiny little bit, like a little bit above, I don't know, like a kid would be able to do.
Them. As much shit as I give Diablo 4, I would honestly play that over this. Because at least you can build a character through armor and weapons and all different kinds of upgrades. It gives you something to strive for. I don't know why Veilguard insists on being an action-adventure game with just like one little tiny slice of RPG. There are some flashy...
It's an ARPG without the actual, like, ARPG with it. Ugh. The fact that he's saying that is kind of crazy to me. I'd rather play Diablo 4 than this. Ugh. I'd rather, like, not eat shit. I'll step in it.
moves, I suppose, but there's no real thought or strategy. No need to worry about your positioning or tactics. All attacks are painfully telegraphed, easy and obvious to dodge. No need to worry about leveling up your character and getting better gear. Just run around while your allies attack the enemy because they can't be killed for some reason. Or hell, you can't even control your party members. You can give them like a few basic commands, but again, that's something that used to interest me, was like building a party. It was one of BioWare's greatest strengths with their RPGs. You gotta control 3 or 4 characters instead of just one. It allowed you to play other classes that you didn't pick for your specific character. It gave you more options to differentiate and create your build. BioWare's RPG mechanics used to be the seasoning on the steak, and once again, Larian has continued this design aspect of a full party you control. They're the ones doing that now, to great success. It feels like all of the dynamic choices and elements have slowly been stripped away from the Dragon Age series, and that's how it's been destroyed. Step number 5, and this is a good one. Make me hate my companions.
You're allowed to dislike your companions, but I should be able to either kill them or dismiss them and never talk to them again. I'm sorry, I don't like certain characters in Baldur's Gate 3, but it doesn't mean I absolutely hate them, because at least I have the choice of dismissing them out of my party and never talking to them. And that's perfectly fine! Like, what?
There's such a stark contrast between dialogue in previous games compared to Veilguard. It's not just the writing, but their performances as well.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Fucking gay!
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
Even the random NPCs from Origins sounded like they were giving it their all.
Lies! You have betrayed us! Betrayed our lady!
The dialogue is so wooden, stilted, and lifeless.
This character is so bland. There's so many examples of this character. I don't even know her name is. She's so bland. It's the dwarf as well. They have absolutely like no depth to them.
It makes all of the companions feel inhuman, as if they had their lines written in alphabetical order and read them without any context of the situation. Instead of going through the process of meeting and recruiting your companions, you know, like how meeting people in real life normally works, instead they're just given to you. Your character, the Rook, has already met these three, but I haven't. I'm the one playing this game. So there's a disconnect between me, my player character, and my companions, because my character met these people off screen.
And you can also just not meet them. In Baldur's Gate 3, if you don't want to meet someone, you can literally kill them, man.
Origins companions felt way more natural. They were a smaller part of a bigger world. And more importantly, recruiting them was an option. You can leave Sten to die in his cell if you want. You can
do that with, what's her face? Lae'zel. You can do that with, Shadowheart. You can do that with any character. You just leave them to rot if you don't like them. Oh, we're out of scissors. Okay.
You can kill all of your companions except one. How the companions were introduced in Origins was authentic. It showed you a part of who they were, what drives them, what are their values. Nevgalis is introduced by doing magic.
Varric, Harding. Not the worst timing.
And they all get their cute, quirky little intros. I'm a mage.
Bro.
I'm a mage.
I'm a mage. I'll go. Yes, we know, you dumb bitch. What do you mean?
Go.
The companions in Veilguard have this uncanny ability of avoiding anything that might be dark, edgy, gritty, or evil. It's like everything is sugar-coated now. In Origins, you can let a mother sacrifice herself in a blood magic ritual to save her demon-possessed child.
You let Lady Isolde sacrifice herself with blood magic. How could you do that?
And then the companions can freak out at you and really dislike that. Yeah, if you do something really bad, that's the one criticism that I can actually have. When you do something that a character doesn't like in Baldur's Gate 3, they don't really criticize you that hard. Yeah, like if you do something they really don't like, they just kind of go like, I don't really like that, but I'm going to stay in the party. And it takes a lot for them to leave the party. That's a criticism, and I think that's a fair one. I played a lot of it, so yeah, I don't know. This seems like good story writing where people freak out at you for that.
Or you can kill the child, like I said.
You killed Connor. You killed him. A little boy. How could you do that?
In Veilguard, I can't be rude or mean to people that annoy me. If I don't like my companions, then at least give me the opportunity to piss them off for my own amusement. There's endless opportunities in Origins.
No, you can't do that. That makes me uncomfortable. You can't make the they, them, non-binary Tosh upset. Because that's a self-insert for the character that the person wrote at the company. And if you're mean to them, they will be really, really sad.
To do or say some fucked up shit that's gonna piss off your companions.
What? Of course we should revive him! That hasn't changed. I just don't know how you could do it, how you could make that decision.
It made them feel like real people, and over time you got to learn what kinds of actions each companion responded well or poorly to.
I was a fool to allow you to convince me to stay. I can stomach this no longer.
Like a hurricane, you wander, attacking everything in your path, wasting strength. There is no purpose here.
Here's the thing, in a game like Veilguard, you need good and evil choices for the player to make. The more cruel or heartless you can be, the more of an impact it'll leave on the player and their—
Well, that's what RPGs are. They were based on Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role-playing game. If you can't have evil, neutral, and good, what the fuck is the point of the game? It's not an RPG then, you're just playing a fucking story game.
companions. Relationships are meant to be strained. They go through tests. Art reflects reality. People are complex. They have emotional problems and their own conflicting values. And when those clash, you want to see sparks fly.
No, stop! You can't just attack her. She's protected the children. She's not the one we should be wary of.
Alistair is right. She seems to be a good person.
You want us to assist this preachy schoolmistress to rescue these pathetic excuses for mages.
Look at those boobas.
There's a golden rule in storytelling that says dialogue is better when characters are saying no to each other, when they're disagreeing, talking shit.
Dwarf.
What?
Dwarf!
Stop tripping me.
Stop tripping yourself.
If you were significant enough to notice, I wouldn't step on you.
And it's this golden rule that Veilguard has given no heed. It's like the writing is designed so that you can't offend or upset anyone, because we wouldn't want that. As if all the effort went towards creating the scenes, but very little time went towards writing compelling conversations. I also don't understand how facial expressions could have gotten worse from Origins, like...
The limp syncing is so bad too. I can understand Dragon Age Origins, their first like Dragon Age game back in like what, 2006 I think it came out, right? Yeah, like they're super bad, but like, I mean, it wasn't great. 2009, okay.
This game looks kind of dated and goofy, but you can see the people's emotions on their face and you can hear it in their voice. In Veilguard, it's like everyone's just smiling and talking like a fucking tranquil. What I'm trying to say...
They've got Botox in their face.
...is that when you have an ensemble cast of characters in games that rely around a party, a set of companions, often the most interesting parts of that story come from how they interact with and play off of each other.
I've seen you take some bad hits. Don't you feel anything?
Anger, rage even, perhaps a little distress. Is this pain?
I'm not sure. I don't think I'd call it distress, exactly. It's more...
What the fuck?
For me, it is more...
That sounds more like a bowel movement. I mean that...
This is so dumb. I love it.
Sharp, stabbing...
And the final step, number...
When Lae'zel and Shadowheart are shit-talking each other, I love that shit. It's so funny to me in every playthrough.
6. Sever my ability to roleplay. This dialogue wheel system is absurdly outdated. It hasn't seen any innovation since Mass Effect 1, and its flaws have never been more apparent than now. Romancing companions used to be something you had to figure out. You had to riz them, say the right thing at the right time. Now
oh my God,
it's still
she's so
just
hot.
click the heart button and then you'll fuck in 10 hours. It's thoughtless and effortless. Veilguard also robs dialogue and choices of all their mystery by telling you what each choice is going to...
Look, if life was like that too, and I could pick the option with like the love heart, that would be great. That would be so good.
To result in. I'll
life
do
would
more
be
than
so
demand.
easy.
Beat down
I
the
could
entire
risk
room to
chat.
get the... Why do you tell me what's going to happen? It's so less exciting. It's like they're spoiling their own story. Let me figure that out.
Because you're a dum-dum and you need to be told what to do, obviously.
I still don't know why the silent protagonist was abandoned, why the dialogue choices don't always reflect what my character says. This dialogue wheel worked in Mass Effect, and it made that game unique. That's where it should have stayed. This is more of a pet peeve of mine, but it shatters my immersion in an RPG constantly when at every turn, my character speaks, and it's not me reading the words in my own head with my own voice, it's just some guy named Rook.
Rook, like the chess piece?
One of the strongest pieces on the board, but he tends to think in straight lines.
Rook, like the chess piece? Get it? Also,
it's like AI wrote that shit, man. Oh my God. And the way they like say it out loud too, like it's not even like with a modicum of sarcasm either. They're like being 100% serious.
I don't like how they show approval and disapproval ratings during the conversation, show that shit after. Influence or approval is supposed to take place after a conversation, because if it pops up during a conversation, it's distracting and immersion breaking. There needs to be a clear distinction between the game and the dialogue and story, and there isn't. So to recap, Veilguard comes across like it's trying to be a hero shooter or a Marvel movie.
Not cringe.
The art style and
I think Marvel and Hollywood, like, hero stories have impacted video games more than people realize. Everything has been so dumbed down, and you have to have everything handheld and explained to you at every turn. It's so irritating.
Tone of the series has been butchered to be as PG as possible. BioWare failed to reconnect me with this universe by throwing me into the heat of things without any buildup or context. They've simplified and removed pretty much all RPG mechanics. I don't like any of the companions I met so far, and my ability to play...
Well, you're just a bigot, Mr. Actman. If you don't like any of the characters, you're a bigot! You hate gays.
In this game has been completely severed. Even though I didn't play Veilguard much, I don't need to. The game failed to immerse me from the start, and I never felt like I could imprint myself on the protagonist. That's why I play RPGs, to play a role. Now I want to briefly touch on tackling social issues in your fantasy RPG universe. Dragon Age has never shied away from showing race relations, racism, or including characters with mental disabilities. You meet an autistic savant dwarf who's really good with enchantment, but the game doesn't tell you he's autistic. In Veilguard...
That's what I'm fucking saying, man! Why do you have to put a label on it and make everyone in the room say, hey, this guy's autistic? It's like, are you, like... If someone who has autism, like actual, like, autism, you can tell if you have two brain cells to rub together. Even in real life, you just kind of look at them and you're like, okay, maybe they have like a disability. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There's plenty of people who work in everyday, like, jobs where people have jobs with autistic people. It's not like a bad thing. It's fine. Why do you have to beat them over the head over with it?
Your companion's Tosh just straight up says, so I'm non-binary.
So I'm non-binary. What is that?
Okay.
One of the most essential parts of storytelling or driving home a message.
It's just so, like... It's just a self-insert at this point. No, truly.
Is that you give the audience some agency to figure out what that message is on their own, to piece the puzzle together, to read between the lines of that which is unsaid. The more explicit and direct you make a message, the less an audience is going to be receptive to it, because they feel like they're being preached to.
Why are you here?
I beg your pardon?
Women are artisans or merchants, or farmers, though you don't seem particularly earthy. They have no place in war.
I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with that idea.
Look at that. What? Real people having conversations in a fictional fantasy setting? What? A woman responding and saying, I can't even begin to think that what's wrong with that. I'm a powerful mage. I don't even know this character, by the way. This is like my first impression. What? Conflict? People feeling uncomfortable? A character not being happy with the response?
Kunari have no female mages? No female warriors?
Of course not. Why would our women wish to be men?
Do you believe I wish to be a man?
You cannot be a man. That will lead you only to frustration.
Holy shit, that was amazing!
Needs subtlety and nuance, and having a character start doing push-ups because they misgendered someone is not...
I think both the characters were cool in their response, man. It's just like real people. The more relatable you make it to, like, actual responses how normal human beings have in the real world, even though it's a fantasy game and it's two fictional characters who have superpowers, essentially, that makes it relatable. It makes it immersive.
Subtle or nuanced. It's like you can feel the self-righteous wrath the writers fantasize about inflicting on people who commit.
This scene is just so sickening to me. It's like I'm back in, like, the corporate world, you know, like working a 9 to 5 and I have to, like, you know, keep my fucking mouth shut. No one does this. They do this in their head and then they try to put it on other people. They think this is how the world should be. Yeah, HR wrote this kind of shit.
Such a heinous crime, such as misgendering someone. Having non-binary characters isn't a problem in and of itself. It's how you write them. How do you integrate them into the world? Do you make that their defining personality trait? When you beat people over the head like, hey, don't misgender others, that's what we're trying to say. What can we say about it? So yeah, Dragon Age the Veilguard is worse than I expected it to be. It is such a far cry from what Dragon Age should be, what it used to be, and what BioWare should go back to doing. I have no fucking idea what they think they're doing with Dragon Age. I just don't know what this is. At least Paper Mario Sticker Star still kinda looked like Paper Mario. You know what I mean? Dragon Age doesn't even look like itself. Some people may prefer this style over the older games, and like I said, if you have been enjoying Veilguard, don't let me or anybody else stop you. You like what you like, you don't gotta prove anything to anyone. I'm sure if I played Veilguard more, I'd only have more negative things to say about it. And
as a person who likes older RPGs, I played through Neverwinter Nights too. I like WoW. I like Baldur's Gate. I've played through a lot of RPGs and MMORPGs. I just don't think it's immersive. Sorry. Maybe you're a dum-dum that likes this kind of content, and that's fine. A lot of people like really shitty food and in like the world. This is a shitty plate of food in my opinion. You're allowed to enjoy it. It's not illegal.
I'm not gonna stick it out. The game failed at every opportunity to interest, excite, or entertain and immerse me, so I'm not giving it any more of my time. I have no idea what the future holds for BioWare. I don't think it's looking all that good. I doubt this game is going to win any awards at the Game Awards. I would be stunned if that happened. It's not only sad to see how far Dragon Age has fallen, but BioWare themselves. I guess this just means we need to protect Larian at all costs, because they are the new BioWare. But hopefully you—
I really hope they don't get bought out by like Activision in like 20 years. That would be so bad. Even 10 years, I'd be so upset. This always happens, man.
I've enjoyed this educational journey on how to destroy a franchise. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And hey, if you really enjoyed this video, you can sign up for my Patreon and get some exclusive perks, early access to videos, your shiny, beautiful name right here on the screen. Yeah, check out my Patreon if you're interested. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace.
It's just a capitalism. It's just a capitalism, Porpa. The CEO said they wouldn't sell it. Guys, 10 years down the line, people change their minds. I don't know what to tell you. The more likely you are to accept it, the less hurt you're gonna be. Another thing that I would like to touch on is the fact that when I was a little kid and I played RPGs like Fallout and like Fallout New Vegas and Neverwinter Nights, it was really difficult for me to be evil because some acts of like, you know, killing kids or something, or like doing something horrible to a companion that I liked, I couldn't bring myself to do it, and I think that's the perfect epitome of a good RPG. If it makes you feel uncomfortable to even think about doing it, but there's still the option for you to be evil, then like, what's stopping you? I think that's good.